Hi, welcome to Hidden Gems, Jewels with Jude. Let's talk sugar. So, this is one topic that comes up quite a bit with my clients in the past and today. And one of their first questions is, how can I reduce my sugar intake? And it's a really important subject and topic, and it's something I recommend to people when I'm working with them if they are working on their health and making new habits. And I believe I touched on this in my last video about, or one of my videos about the awareness that I learned when I practice yoga, the awareness on so many levels. And so that's where we're going to start with the sugar. Yes, there are health issues that stem from sugar, weight gain, heart issues, diabetes, right? All of those factors, which I feel many of us are aware of. The, the challenges with sugar. So at first, let's focus on awareness of what actually triggers you to want and have sugar. So there's different reasons why something may trigger you. It could be physical, it could be emotional, it can also be environmental, um, habitual, and also diet restrictions. So let me break those, was it five categories that I mentioned that may trigger your desire for sugar. And when you listen to this video, become aware of what it is for you, right? So just become aware of it. Maybe you take notes if you're a note taker, or maybe you just notice it and keep that stored so you can make those shifts. So physically, it can be that you're dehydrated, right? And dehydration is a whole nother topic, which I'll touch on at some point, talk about at some point, but you can be dehydrated. You can be, have lack of sleep. You didn't sleep well. So your energy is low and you need the sugar to boost you. And you want that. The other one is, and that's similar to what I just said with the dopamine hit. You get that rush, right? And if you ever had sugar, which I believe many of us have, you get that real high, you get going, you got a lot of energy, and then you sink. So first is physical. Second, it can be a trigger from emotions, stress, sadness or depression, or even a reward, right? You did something good. Maybe you went for a run, you exercised for 5 days, and you're like, okay, time for a sugar treat. And please know, this is not to say never have sugar. I'm going to touch on that as well. And then it can be environmental, having it in the house, having it right there in your environment to reach for, right? So I've become very conscious of that and what I have in the house. Sweets I like, but I'm not a huge sweet tooth. I do like, certain sweets, like a good Brooklyn cannoli. I'll never refuse that when I'm in Brooklyn. But having it in the house, and that's another whole topic too, of what you shop and what you keep in your house. Because when it's there and it's easily accessible, it's a good simple way to have some sugar and an uplift. The other thing, and I remember when I was in the corporate world, there was sugar constantly, constantly. So if it's there in your space, I would highly recommend removing it. The other thing is with environmental is advertising and marketing. Right? Nowadays, with the internet and social media, that could pop up, right? The sugar treats, or if you're watching TV, right? Have an ice cream cone or a big chocolate bar, whatever it may be. And that gets you thinking, wow, that looks really good. So I'm going to jump into that. And then another environmental trigger is social gatherings, which is great. I love social gatherings, whether it's with family or friends, but that can also have an environment that has lots of sweets. Okay? So how do you manage that? How do you pick one and not all? Right? I know if I feel like a treat when I'm out at a social event, I'll pick something that is my favorite and a piece of it and one piece of it. So that's another one. The other thing is habit, habitual, right? So you eat a meal, and then after the meal, you have your cookie, or you have your piece of cake, or you have an ice cream cone. Uh, and it reminds me, as a child, we used to eat ice cream quite a bit after our dinner. It was our reward, our treat, and we would have bowls of it. I'm not talking a little scoop, we would have bowls of it. And so it could become habitual. And to this day, I'll be totally honest and transparent. I still love my ice cream. I don't have it, bowls of it every day, not at all. So habit. Um, and then the last thing would be diet restrictions. And more so of the I'll never have sugar again. By saying that, it sets in your head this, or in your body, deprivation. Oh my God, I can never have a cookie again. I can never have a ice cream cone. I can never have uh, a pastry, right? So that never is not a good way to be, right? So I challenge you to become aware of what's triggering you and your sugar cravings and reaching for sugar, right? So is it physical, emotional? Is it environmental? Or is it habitual or a diet restriction? Those 5 things. So feel free to comment below after you spent a couple of days, a week, a couple of weeks, depending on you, of what you become aware of, and sharing it with me in the comments. If you learned something new here, feel free to comment that below as well. Share it with someone that may be looking to start a reduction of sugar. And there'll be much more on this in Hidden Gems, Jewels with Jude. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.